Very cool.
Yeah,
So what I wanted to tell you a little bit about was a bizarre experience I had yesterday where I was in delivering the car at a certain place, the Volvo dealership, and I sat down and was doing some work, and a woman ended up being beside me working on this and that. And it turned out that her kids had both been to our school. And then, more information came out over time, and before you know it, it turned out that her husband had been the director of development at the school, who I'd known of, but never had actually met. He died a couple of years before. And she was managing to cope with the fact that her husband dropped dead on her. She had, one kid who had terminal brain disease. I mean, so many different things. I've never seen anything like that in terms of a consistent set of things that hit some one person. And yet she was normal. I mean, it was emotional. We ended up speaking for several hours because I had an enormous amount of work to do with the car. And it ended up, though, being remarkable that somebody could go through this stuff, and it made me think of my own life in any terms of complications or stuff. It's a little bit like what happened in the Philippines this week. You can sort of sit there and say, whatever problems I may have are trivial in the grand scheme of things. So,
exactly.
Anyway, that was a pretty wild ride experience. And I think you've been running, huh?
Not so much lately, unfortunately.
No.
And what I found is the longer you put off running, the more weight you have to run with, so it even gets harder. So it's a vicious circle. So one has to get that first step.
Didn't you changed something on your website to show a different picture of you in the middle of the race, I thought? Or was that some race?
That was a year ago.
That was a year ago. I see. So it's a desire.
I haven't gotten around to updating that picture.
Gotcha.
There's something more recent.
But you did put your dad on, though, eh?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
that was a picture of you and Dad when?
That was several years ago when I took him to Normandy on the 60th anniversary of the Normandy D-Day event, June 6th, 1944. And it was quite an amazing time. It was, for a lot of them, it was the last time they were going to get there. In my dad's case, it was actually the very first time he ever set foot on a plane.
Wow.
The last time he went there was on a big boat.
Wow.
Queen Mary.
and was he on a motorcycle in the picture?
Yeah.
What was the deal there?
No, that was one of the things that they did. They were getting around. They had those old motorcycles that were getting around town to town.
And they handed them out to you when you were over there? Because that was a picture.
All of the old military garb that you saw on there was actually a company out of Brussels that furnishes old Jeeps, furnishes old motorcycles, clothing. They had transport trucks. They had all sorts of paramilitary vehicles, which we rode on for a good part of the.
And you could rent them and.
You didn't rent them. No, they were there basically for the use of the anciens combattants.
Wow, that's very cool.
It was really neat.
That is very cool.
So I got a ton of pictures and was sending daily reports back, and it was quite fun. My dad had a
What
good
did you do yesterday? Did you go to any of the Remembrance Day things?
Unfortunately not. I had too many other meetings scheduled.
Okay, sounds good.